We know why we get to do this. Thank you to the service members and first responders that have committed their time, sweat, blood, limbs, family, and life to give us the freedoms that we have that allow us to do what we do daily. Paul Elmstrand, Adam Finseth, Matthew Rouge. To remember is not enough.
Trucker. Doctors, roll out. You're watching or listening to We Got Your 6 at 6 Patriot Playtime. We the people, the People's Patriot Project.
To put your skill set, your thoughts, and ideas, or want to help continue the mission, you have come to the right place. We are the People's Patriot Project, and we are the shock and awe when it comes to meeting the needs of our veterans and first responders. We are dealing with a new enemy in today's world where the wounds are not always seen. We want you to be a part of this mission in saving lives and making a difference. Welcome to We Got Your 6 at 6 Patriot Playtime. Here's the WeP3 Team bringing you today's best heroes hits in the boots on the ground organizations that are saving lives. And as always, Patriot Pride.
Left, your left, hey. Left, right, your left. You got it.
Trucker.
Hello and good evening, folks. This is Andrea Eichmann with the People's Patriot Project. This is our weekly show, which becomes a podcast. We call it We Got Your 6 at 6 Patriot Playtime. And I'm going to change the script a little bit tonight before we get going. I just want to remind everybody, we started this mission to support not just veterans, but first responders as well. the trauma wraps itself around just like it does with veterans. We're pushing to be the shock and awe of veteran and first responders support. We're looking to turn heads, save lives, create opportunities to help make heroes whole again while making them a proactive part of their home and society, because we believe happy heroes make happy communities. In lieu of what's been going on in our world everywhere, our military and first responders are on the front lines working to save lives and protect communities across the nation. There's a lot of opportunities coming up in the near future to recognize the hard work and life-saving sacrifices of fire service, law enforcement, and emergency medical services personnel. Let's keep in mind, you guys, they willingly serve. They chose this, and they willingly serve. They willingly make sacrifices. They're out there so that we can be in our home safe. They represent us around the world, taking care of business as it needs to be taken care of. We do this live podcast. Man, we started out to create awareness. Seems a little hokey now because I hope everybody's aware of the vast needs of our veterans and first responders and what they're dealing with. We are here to create a network of organizations that are proactive, collaborative, boots on the ground forces with the mission of supporting all of those who have served, and to create the resources and networks that will accommodate the unique financial needs and emotional needs to complete this very complex mission of support. And with that, I am going to welcome our guest. We have David Chamberlain with us tonight. He's going to share his music. He's got some stories. He's got some awesome things to share tonight. But before we get started, if we could stand, please, put our hands on our hearts, and join us with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic with which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Can I do one more thing before we?
Yes.
A bit somber. But I put a little thing in here because I watched this today. And I need to thank Brian Paul for putting it on his page, and that's where I saw it. And I had a little time this afternoon. I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do, and so I loaded it up, and it's very touching. Everybody in the world should see it. It is amazing. PTSD 911, you guys. It followed these amazing people who shared their stories, who it was very close behind a dispatcher, a female, I don't know if that matters, a female police officer and a male firefighter. And I think he was a chief, actually. People have to keep sharing their stories. And I have to say, oh, shoot, the name of the town slips my mind. Oh, my gosh, I texted it to Peterson earlier. Where those in charge, those at the higher levels, are being very open and understanding about what their employees need. They cannot keep hammering day in and day out and day in and day out, day in and day out without someone to talk to and without a break from all of the episodes they see. It's craziness.
Garland,
Texas. Yes. Chesapeake Bay, Virginia. And there are a few communities out in California as well that have amazing, amazing leadership, you guys. And it shows in this documentary. I wrote down all the names of the people that made the documentary, that participated, and that the psychologists, the doctors on here, amazing, amazing, amazing. They don't all turn out happy endings, I'm sorry to say. In fact, most of them don't. We do have a friend, however, who did turn out so far on the better end, and that is Chris Moore. Chris Moore came on in our early days to share with us his story, and then first responder conferences. And they're out there making a difference, you guys. They're out there doing stuff and making a difference. They're making changes in the way the stigma is being handled. It's pretty incredible. Pretty incredible, pretty moving. If it doesn't make you cry, you're not human, I don't think. Okay, it might make you feel like you want to cry for these souls. And then all the souls that you know who are out there doing this. So that was that. Thank you for letting me have that moment, because this, I'm going to just pop it up here again. It's PTSD 911. It's out there to make the awareness, but I'll tell you what, it's not just doing awareness. It's showing what people are doing to help and support and to get crap taken care of.
I love it. And great words, Andrea. Your first dialogue was actually spot on and amazing. We got good people out here.
Thanks, you guys.
Hi, Contagion Effect. Thank you. Shannon Book. Gosh dang it, brother. Thanks for being here, man. I do need that little uplift of your whimsical nonsense that we love so much. Nothing was matching up today, and we're still dealing with a little bit of stuff. What is what it is, and we always get by it. But even the other day, when we did our show during that big soup bowl or something last Sunday, what do they call that?
Wow.
Was
that just last Sunday for real?
Super Bowl, yeah.
They were playing soccer or something, I think.
Why has it got to be such a big bowl? I don't understand. Why is it a Super Bowl? Is it like is it a cooking show or something?
That's so you can put your potato salad in your gumbo.
Potato salad.
Yeah. What the heck is that?
Not me. Derek Iozio, you are doing it. You're blowing it up, and you got amazing people around you.
Hold on. You are so right, Derek. Look what else I found today. Look at this. Kimmer. Woo! Kimmer has yeah, baby. Way to go. She is now trained in Kentucky as adult peer support. Oh, my gosh. Way to go. Nice job, Kimmer.
Mr. Madsen's in the house, Foxhole Internet Radio. Yeah, who cares, right, Shannon? But the point is, someone asked us, why are you guys doing this? Well, that goes back to our very beginning. We know why we get to do this. We get to do this because of the men and women. And, you know, if you didn't get to see the opening part of the show, here in Minnesota, and again, we got 50 other states that we need to be concerned about with every day. It's hitting close to home, but we lost 2 officers and a first responder on a domestic last night. And
others were shot.
Sad.
Many others were shot. We lost 3, but many others were shot.
And
domestics are the most dangerous call that a police officer can go
absolutely.
on.
Absolutely. But I'll be honest. I don't have the answers. I say a lot. Mr. Mello, we good. We support. We do. Here's the deal, man. And this is where I get pretty fired up, and I'm in that space right now. And I'll try to hold it together long enough not to completely blow up the show and give Mr. Chamberlain his space and share his amazing craft with us. And he's always been such a kind, well-spoken person and very grateful and gracious for everything. And we appreciate you, brother. So we want to make sure we give that time.
You go right ahead, Mark. I'm here if you need me. So I'm just going to listen.
Jonathan,
I'll be the fly on the wall right now.
Shannon wants to say Minnesota, Jonathan.
I know.
I don't know how to say Minnesota.
Minnesota in the boat in Minnesota, fishing out there.
Hear your best Jesse Ventura impersonation.
Just said
Go ahead, he the governor of Minnesota.
One of our best governors ever.
All right.
What are you talking about? Don't go
Jesse Ventura. Go ahead.
Minnesota.
Yeah, still
Remember, I'm from Wyoming, so I can use whatever dialect I want. That's
Sheesh.
It's all good.
I just don't know what direction. I will never be a finger pointer. I've never, if the job's not getting done, you grab it and you do it yourself. And you grab a team of people that can get the job done with you.
Mm-hmm.
And that is, in essence, what the People's Patriot Project is about. We were not seeing the things get done across this country the way that we wanted to see get done. This is not a political agenda. This is a boots on the ground, grassroots effect of, you know what? I'm tired of watching our men and women who are kissing their children goodbye, leaving their house during the day, and then not knowing if they're going to come back.
Yeah.
It is a question mark that each and every one of them have to face daily. And I'm trying to not to do the swearing thing, but it's garbage. And if we're going to sit by and allow it to continue to happen, then we are at fault. We're at fault. If we continue, I mean, we can get into this conversation. If you want to keep doing the same thing over and over and over and expecting a different outcome, that's the definition of insanity. Well, we're freaking insane, people. Let's figure this out. We've got blind eyes turning their heads, not getting involved, not being part, not giving them the tools, not giving them the resources, not giving them the things that they need to do their job. And then we expect them to do their job and then turn around and have to live with the stigma, with the trauma, and with all the stuff. And you know what? We don't slow down for a second to dial 911 when we need to have our ass saved. But we don't want to invest in the people that are going to come and save our ass. When are we going to fix that problem? When are we going to step and move forward and do the things that we need to do? What are you doing? If you're not doing anything, you're part of the problem. We've been saying this for 3 years now. We got amazing Chris Moore out there doing this stuff out there in the East Coast, part of this PTSD documentary. I really wanted to get to it. I didn't get a chance today. I was too busy taking care of myself for a minute. I was making some gumbo, and I'm sorry, not sorry. That's 100%.
There you go.
That's what I do for myself. Care is I make gigantic bowls of food. I should have been in that Super Bowl last weekend. I think that's what I do for me. And sorry, I take those minutes, and we will continue to take those minutes. But I need to know what collectively, and I will needle, and I will point, and I will poke, and I will grab, and I will continue to move forward, and I will continue to do the show with the amazing team that we have with the People's Patriot Project, with Andrea and Jonathan and Gwynner, and our amazing guests who come on here, Mr. Chamberlain, and even the ones that sign up and say they're going to make it and they can't for whatever reason, and I'm not throwing them under the bus. It is time to be active, folks. And if you're not going to be active, then don't, honestly, second guess your decision to dial 911. Yeah, you can say, my tax dollars pay for this. Yeah, okay. Well, is your tax dollars enough to cover the cost of my life or the others that run into burning buildings? It's not. I'm sorry. But all right. And unless anyone wants to join the rant, I'll be done for the minute.
I bet there'll be more.
I'm fired up, people.
It's okay.
It's garbage.
Yeah.
And with that, welcome to the We Got Your 6 at 6 podcast.
There we go. In for a shore this weekend.
Yeah, that stuff. When I hear stuff like that, I generally react in one of two ways. I either sound a little bit like Mark, or I get a little bit in my feelings and I go away somewhere. So it's never pleasant to hear terrible news.
And like I said, it's not just a Minnesota thing. It's not just here. Again, the thing is, we had a text thread go out today, and this is the narrative I hate saying. I I hate saying, and it's a reality, that no one does an effing thing until they're affected by it. No one does anything until it causes a little bit of discomfort and, oh, look, my poor little feelings got hurt. Oh, look, my stuff got taken. Why are the other people helping take care of my stuff? Shut up. Get out there, be part of something, grow with something. You got to, and it's not just the People's Patriot Project. There's organizations all over the country. All over the country. Get involved, be part of something.
Mm-hmm.
David Chamberlain, sorry you got to hear me rant right now.
No, man, enjoy it. You're doing a good job. You know, law enforcement, don't get enough credit. They're on the front lines every day.
Every day.
Here in America. They might not be soldiers overseas fighting, but they fight a war every day. And I know I was one for a long time. And it's dangerous. You put that badge and gun on, you become everybody's target at that point. You're everybody's enemy. Yeah. You're most hated person on the block, for that day until you take that badge and gun off and come home. Hopefully you do.
If you get the chance to come home, right? Exactly.
Yeah. And I know what you're talking about, Mark. I've been there on the receiving end of getting hurt in the line of duty and stuff, and it's not a good feeling knowing that it's possible that somebody's fixing to draw the gun out of your holster and shoot you in the head with it. It's just not. It's not a good feeling. But yeah, you need more support out there. People need to support our law enforcement and support our soldiers and support our veterans, and let's get America back on track. We're losing it. We're losing it fast. And we all need to come together and be a team again and be to achieve that goal of being America. Be United States of America, be an American, and not segregated by color or race or any of that stuff. But
you're in law enforcement. I have zero problems. Zero problems.
I've been out for a long time.
I know they won't do this, but I would have zero problem if they started saying, you know what? I'm done with it. I'm going to walk away from this. And to be honest with you, a lot of them have.
With the police officers?
Yes.
Yeah, because it gets to you, man. Like you can put it aside for a long time. You go to work and like what I did was I was a patrolman and I started off as a patrolman, and I was mounted patrolman, and then I went to Oklahoma County Sheriff's Office. I became a warrant deputy. All I did was high profile warrants. We served the biggest, baddest guys out there, and every day our guns come out of our holster. We had that life and death decision we had to make on a daily basis. After a while, you start having the dreams, just like post-traumatic stress. You start having the dreams of dying in your dream from being chased and, all that stuff. And it wears on you after a while. But the fear sort of goes away. You just tuck that away. It's just a job. But until you get hurt like I did, then the reality slaps you right in the face at that moment. You're on the ground with a suspect and he's trying to get your gun from you. I got stabbed in the head multiple times, and I thought he was hitting me with his fist. But my point is that can happen to anybody any day, and you don't get to go home. And after that changed my outlook on law enforcement. And I mean, what you're saying is so true. So spot on.
There's documentary after documentary, and again, I'm not a fool enough to believe that one side is one side and another side's not. There's a way the information has got to meld and is real. I mean, we all know if 4 people are standing on 4 different corners of an intersection, you see a car accident, everyone's going to walk away with different information from that. It's
right.
It's everyone, even police officers do. I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah.
But just the polar opposites of the stories. I mean, there's no line where me and Andrea are stuck up here in Minnesota. When I say stuck, I mean stuck. There seems to be an agenda of some kind in a different way, facing different directions. And again, we try very hard not to make these conversations political when we have these conversations. But what
sort of hard not to.
What some of the stuff we're dealing with and seeing, it doesn't match up. It doesn't make sense I'm a big boy. I'm willing to hear the truth, but I'm willing to hear all sides. Tell me, teach me, learn me. But some of the stuff isn't working right. But Jonathan, not meant to throw you on the bus. I know you've been busy. You've been super busy. Do you have any news for tonight?
Yeah, I got some stuff.
Okay.
So February 19th is President's Day. A lot of people, government, state workers, they'll have the day off. Most of us won't, but they will. And that was kind of the intention when President's Day was moved in 1971 to the third Monday of the month. The intention was to create more 3-day weekends for the public because it was believed that at that point in the year that the restorative effects of winter would have passed, and the hope was that it would regenerate some of the lost stamina in the workforce and create more productivity. I did not know that, but I don't get it off, so it didn't work. Couple little interesting facts about presidents that some of them I knew, some of them I didn't. Lincoln was the tallest president ever at 6'4", and James Madison was the shortest president at 5'4". President Teddy Roosevelt was 42 at the start of his tenure, and that would make him the youngest president to ever take office. February 19th is also the United States Coast Guard Reserve's birthday. June 23rd, 1939, Congress gave the Coast Guard Reserve a legislative mandate to use civilians. It was done to promote safety on the high seas and the nation's navigable waters. It was non-military and was formed by unpaid volunteer citizens who owned yachts or boats. On February 19th in 1941, Congress amended the 1939 Act by passing the Auxiliary and Reserve Act of 1941. It would designate the reserve as a military branch, with the civilians forming the auxiliary. It would later become the Coast Guard Reserve, and its founding day is listed as February 19th. In 1994, downsizing would lead to the Coast Guard Reserve stopping the operations of all of its all reserve units, except for port security units. Today, there are only 7,724 members in the Coast Guard Reserve. And that was all I was able to get on news. But today is also a very special day because February 18th, 1996 was the day that the person who brought me out of a pretty dark place in life was born. So happy birthday, Jess. It's been 11 wonderful years for me and not so wonderful years for her, but
Yeah, happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Jess.
I got one more.
All right.
February 22nd, George Washington's birthday.
yes.
Yes.
That's and that's actually part of the transition of President's Day. It was initially observed on George Washington's birthday.
Yes.
And then after Lincoln had done all the wonderful things that Lincoln did as president, his birthday was February 12th, and they kind of wanted to make President's Day to honor both of them. And then it just eventually would become President's Day for all the presidents.
Interesting.
like it.
We won't get deep into this. But you know, President Lincoln really isn't seen very highly in Minnesota. And I didn't know this. There's some gigantic pieces, and I'm from Wyoming State, so I come to Minnesota. I'm learning the ways of Minnesota. I'm learning. I get my degrees, but I had to teach Minnesota history, and there is a very dark blemish in Mr. Lincoln's tenure as president. that's not seen very keenly. And I get it. I totally understand. I just wonder how much of that stuff is not put in the history books, is not put. And I won't get into the big stuff. If you want to have this side conversation, I'll tell you at another place and time what Mr. Lincoln did in the state of Minnesota at one time. Very
horrific. It was horrific.
Horrific and authoritative, and it had to do with Native Americans and some of the things that they did in the. It is what it is. It's just dark, a dark day in America. There's a bunch of them, and I think it's important for us to realize that we are a country of growth. It goes back to Mr. Mello, and even he says "Let's go" in his show, and we changed our stuff to "Let's grow" because it's important, and we don't call PTSD anymore. We call it PTSG, post-traumatic growth. We understand that it exists, but we want to also spin it to the positive side of let's get bigger and better and learn through what we do. Vampire Hunter, that was the darkness. Gosh, I was hoping that wouldn't come up, but Jeremy Daniels did get that. He was very well known for
man was handy with an axe.
Right.
Happy birthday, Nana Penny, if she's listening.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, happy birthday.
Shoot, I got a cute picture with her. I should have had that ready. I'll have it ready for tomorrow.
Mr. Chamberlain, what have you been up to, brother?
Not much. Just trying to keep from getting COVID and getting sick, and just running, playing music, and doing about everything that I can, staying busy. About it.
Are you getting out to play much?
Say what?
Are you getting out to play much?
Yeah, I am. I just started playing again. I've been playing some local casinos around here and VFWs and all the fun places. So.
You're welcome, Mr. Mello. We appreciate you, brother. Tell us about your you did it a little bit in the early monologue, but tell us about your service, what you got done, where you were, because you were both in the military and worked in law enforcement, correct?
Yeah. So at the young age of 16, I dropped out of high school, and I got emancipated as an adult, and I decided I wanted to go into military. And so the date I turned February 17th, back in 1986, they sent me off to basic training. I was there by I think on the 22nd of that month, I was in basic training after I turned 17. So went in through the reserve. And then after being in the reserve for a while, I went active and went to Germany for 2 years and did two years at Fort Lewis. And I had, 6 months in Desert Storm. I got some combat experience out there with the 1st Infantry Division. So that's about it, man. Nothing exciting.
Well, don't minimize, brother, the fact that you did it, you got it, you went out there, we got a Facebook user.
I went to so I was in the 1st Infantry Division out there. When I came back, I didn't have much time left in the military, and then of course I got out and pursued music and law enforcement at the same time. And it all came together. It worked out pretty good. So,
we've got a new group joining us. I've not seen them before, and I'm learning, and I want to learn more. The Sunshine Rooms has posted our show to their page, and so we'd like to welcome any of those people with the Sunshine Room, and tell us more. And we'd love to hear about what your mission is and what you're doing over there. David, when did you start playing music?
Oh, when I was young. I started just sort of, I was one of those people that sang everywhere I went when I was a kid. And as I got older, I realized that I had a propensity to gravitate toward music. And buddy of mine come home from school one day. I think I was in 7th grade. I was a football player and stuff, and it's sort of nerdy to be in a band. But he played the trumpet, and I took to that like nothing. It was just like a duck to water. And I knew that I was onto something there. So I played trumpet up until the time that I got out, dropped out of high school. But yeah, so I started there. And then when I was in the Army, what actually got me into singing was I was in the shower singing, and my sergeant thought I had the radio on in the shower because I was like doing some Elvis, and he came in there and he said, "Hey, Chamberlain, you got to turn that radio off." "Sergeant, I don't have a radio on." And after that, I was his best friend. He took me down to Nuremberg, and we went to a couple of live bands and popped up on stage there, and I did pretty good. And it got into my blood from that point on. So 1987, 88 or so is when I really got into it, when I realized that that's something I wanted to do.
I don't know if we were supposed to have any visuals as you were talking about that. That was
What's that?
I don't know if we were supposed to have any visuals as you were talking through your drill instructor coming in the shower while you're singing and stuff.
No, he just poked his head in there. But look, it's everything happens for a reason, right? I never in a million years would have thought that I'd been writing a song, or getting up and performing and doing all the stuff. I mean, I've been doing it now for over 30 something years, 35. I'm 55 now, and maybe it's even longer than that. So it's done me well, and I did well for myself and my family, and along with the law enforcement and all that stuff. It worked out. I got to do everything I wanted to do, in my opinion.
Good.
But the biggest thing I wanted to do, Mark, you guys, when I was a kid, all I wanted to be was a cop. I was that kid glued to the screen when One Adam 12 come on. Those are my heroes, right? And so I got to do all that, and I feel pretty daggone accomplished for a high school dropout. But I went to college and stuff, but it's been a fun life. But that's how it all started.
So Jonathan's done an amazing job. I don't know what's going on with my stuff. It's just a wreck over here in my downloads and stuff. But Jonathan's got all of your songs up, just so you know.
Okay, cool.
I'm not gonna lie, because I'm a super, super fan, and you were talking about this pre-show. I'm a super fan of Toby Keith.
Oh yeah, man.
You said you have a cover for "Don't Let the Old Man In"?
Yeah.
I might have to press you to do that tonight. I know your voice is
yeah, man. I could try it, man. If you want me to, I could pull the guitar out and try it. Yeah.
Okay. You don't have that with you? I mean, you don't have that on the YouTube or anything?
I don't.
Okay.
I have one recording, but I wouldn't let it go. But I can do it live if you wanted. But yeah, "Don't Let the Old Man." I remember hearing this when he had the award ceremony or whatever. You know what I'm talking about. It's the big famous one that made that song really go. I didn't know anything about the song, but when I saw him on stage and the condition that he was in, I knew he was riddled with cancer, and it just broke my heart, right? And so he's a hometown boy, and I'll tell you a story about meeting him in a little bit. I met him back in, when I come back from the Army back in the 90s, when Should Have Been a Cowboy just came out, and I just released my first record too, and it was on the radio. But we'll come back to that. But by seeing him like that on stage, it just broke my heart, and I thought the song was about him dying. That's what I extrapolated from it when I heard it, right? That's the only conclusion that I could come to. And I listened to it one time, and I remember, tearing up, after I finished listening to it. I literally teared up because I felt like he was telling us right then and there, I'm dying. But I'm going to keep trying, and I'm going to do my thing. But I was wrong. I didn't know he wrote that for the mule, and that Clint Eastwood had given him that idea by saying, get up and go outside. Don't let the old man in. Just don't sit around and die. You got to keep moving every day in your life. So I listened to it probably 20 more times after that, and I just fell in love with the song. I love it so much. It's probably, I love all of his stuff. I'm a big fan of Toby's. He's very talented. He was very talented, very gifted, and I appreciate all of his songs. But this particular one is special, and it's going to go down in infamy for him.
Agreed.
Everybody's going to remember him by that.
I have a smiling moment about Toby Keith.
Yeah.
Kind of funny. We were not funny, but funny. We were riding home from like 5 of us went to a class about an hour and a half from here on Friday. We're riding home, and I'm checking my phone or whatever because I haven't had it all day. I was in class, and Toby Keith, and I might have the wording of this wrong, but out of the top 10 Billboard music songs, he had 9 of the top 10 songs on Billboard this week.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's incredible. He deserves that too, you know.
Oh, yeah. Man left the mark for sure.
Yeah. The industry's never going to be the same without him. Yeah. When I met him, radio DJ had me go meet him and his manager, Freddie Cortez, at this place in Oklahoma City. And I walked in there, and this is not like a really extravagant story, but I walked in there and he was thinking about doing something with me and helping me because I had a decent song at the time. And Toby was sitting there in the chair smoking a cigarette and chewing at the same time. He had a spit cup, he's spitting in the cup, he's smoking a cigarette. He's like, "Hey, yeah, man, that's a pretty good song there." Yeah. That's the extent of it. But we had a meeting, and then later on, like a few years later down the line, we missed each other after that. But I was mounted patrolman at the state fair, on horseback, and I saw his bus there, and I just rode my horse right up to his bus, went and knocked on the door. I'm a cop, so he opened the door and didn't recognize me right off the bat, but we had a good conversation for about 10 minutes, me, him, and Freddie. So should have been cowboy. Just saying. It was fun. It was a good experience. And so that's the only 2 times I met him. Very nice guy, warm-hearted person, very funny and tender-hearted. So
you never know how things get put into play. And I did see there was people say when they're ready to go that they go through systems of releasing. And I'm like, I knew in my head right off the bat that when he sang that song and that clip is out there, it was like, he's preparing the world for what's going to happen. Whether they acknowledge or not acknowledge it. My mother did this in our family, shared a bunch of stuff in the last months. She didn't even know she was going to be passing away, and shared the stuff. But I did see an interview that he was involved in. It was his last interview, and he's like, nope. The managers came up. He didn't even know. He walked in. He was at the awards ceremony, and they're like, "You're going to go do this song. Go do it now." And he never even had a chance to warm up. He did it. It's probably one of the most eloquent performances I've seen him do. I got the little goosebumps going on right now too. But just a humble, real American.
Yeah. Good guy. He is a patriot, no doubt.
He wore it on his sleeve, and honestly, I think if we had more Toby Keiths in this world, we wouldn't be in the situation that we're in right now.
Yeah. Toby Keith brought the sign back there to country, man.
Coulda, woulda, shoulda stuff.
Yeah.
All right. You got 3 songs.
Yeah.
You know which 3? Which one you want to roll with first?
I don't know. You want me to introduce it or whatever?
Yes.
So Freedom Don't Come Free is about, us going to war, and then we go to war, we experience things that we tend to carry back with us from war. And it changes us all from the inside out forever. These wounds and scars never go away. And so we have wounds and scars you can see and you can't see. And it's about dealing with post-traumatic stress and the injuries of war. And it's very simplistic and straight to the point.
Awesome.
That's about it. Freedom Don't Come Free.
This is David Chamberlain. Freedom Don't Come Free.
All right.
I'm a soldier fought in World War II. I'm a veteran. I did it for me and you. Yeah, I've got wounds and scars not anyone can see. It's just a reminder that freedom, it don't come free. I'm a soldier. I fought in Vietnam. I'm a veteran. I'm proud of who I am. Yeah, I've got wounds and scars anyone can see. It's just a reminder that freedom, it don't come free. I'm proud I serve my country. It's the right thing to do. I always stand up for freedom in the red, white, and blue. All my brothers and sisters who fought and died for me. We just want to remind you that freedom, it don't come free. I'm a soldier in a land overseas. From Iraq to Afghanistan, my brothers fought and died for me. And through the bullets and when I can hear our mamas crying, Mama, don't you worry, it ain't our time to die. I'm proud I served our country. It's the right thing to do. I always stand up for freedom in the red, white, and blue. All my brothers and sisters who fought and died for me. We just want to remind you that freedom, it don't come free. Oh, freedom, it don't come free.
That's David Chamberlain. Freedom don't come free.
No.
Fitting.
It doesn't. It doesn't. You know, I'd like to say one other thing about that song is part my experience and part, you know, seeing other people go through this stuff. It's not just, can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So part of it's my experience. When I originally wrote it, I go, thank you, brother. So the memories, like they're going to stick with you, right? When I started writing this song, you know, so what am I going to do? You know, this is about, you know, scars of the veterans and the wounds that you get over there. You know, people get shot and blown up, and there's nerve gas, there's chemical exposure, and all this stuff is just thrown into this idea of the wounds and scars that you can see and you can't. And then also, of course, post-traumatic stress disorder. So where did I start? So post-traumatic stress disorder doesn't always happen right away. It does, but it sneaks up on you, in my opinion. That's the way it did with me, because I functioned as a police officer for a long time. But, you know, those loud booms, those noises, people sneaking up behind you and stuff, and you start notice this thing, and it's like, you know, here I am. I'm not even that big of a, you know, I'm just a regular soldier, and I go to war, and you hear a few bombs blowing up around you, and, you know, this stuff, it was sort of a big deal, but still, it traumatizes you, and these things never go away. So that's what the song's about. When I was over there, 1st Infantry Division, 5th Field Artillery, Ground Zero, y'all remember that? It was like in January, right? Or February? It's February. Was it February? I can't remember. Time stands still over there. So we were on the ground invasion to go in. I volunteered to go in on advanced party, and my advanced party got stuck on a damn minefield. Okay, we had to wait for tanks to come get us out, keep us from being blown up. But when we got back to our unit, they were already set up to do a fire mission on the Republican Guard. And I'm telling you, it's the most amazing feeling in the world. You guys are all veterans, y'all know. You look east, west, north, south, and all you see is nothing but United States military, the Brits, and the whole world going after this one target. It's the most amazing thing. And when they said fire mission, it was like nothing you ever seen before in your life. And the devastation that we put on them was incredible, because we drove through it, and, you know, there's bodies and all that stuff everywhere. And one thing we did do is we occupied an area right after that was done. We moved, we did a jump forward, and we were all on guard duty, you know, alternating guard duty and stuff. Is like 4-hour shifts, right? And so in the middle of the night, I'm going somewhere with this, believe me, I ramble, I know I do, but I'm not good at telling stories. It's all over the place, but just stick with me. So I'm on guard duty, and my chemical alarm goes off, and, you know, I'm exhausted. We've been for days without sleep, you know, and here we are. I'm trying to stay awake. You know, there's dogs barking. There's all this stuff. The smoke's blocked out all the moon and the stars in the sky, you know, from the oil fires and stuff. And you hear the chemical alarm go off. So our protocol was call Sergeant of Guard, ring up your little TA 312 and call switchboard, and they get the Sergeant of Guard. And my orders were just go reset it. I think, if I remember right, there's a button or something, you reset the alarm. So I came back, went off again, and then they told me to just take the BA-30s out of it and disassemble it. What had happened at that time, I got exposed to nerve gas. At the time, we didn't know it was nerve gas. And so we've been taking these pyrostigmine bromide pills. They're non-FDA approved. And I'm glad that we did, because it probably is what saved my life. But I never been so sick in my life. And by the time I got off that guard duty, by the time I got off, I had stomach cramps. My eyes I couldn't see, I couldn't focus. And I had the worst migraine headache that you could ever imagine. And so, you know, I had night vision goggles. When I got relieved, we just passed them off, because we were sort of a poor unit, you know, stepchild out there. We had one night vision goggle for the whole platoon, you know. So they passed off those night vision goggles. I stumbled back to the tent, and I was very dazed and confused. And anyway, that was my story. I ended up going to the Porta-John latrine. I passed out, and the first sergeant and the battery commander got me and took me to the medics tent, where I was unconscious for like a couple of days. And I don't remember a lot of things after that point, what happened after there. And so it's like somebody took and erased all my memories from that time forward for a while. So yeah, man. So that's what I'm talking about in that song, I guess, too. So yeah, that's my experience, man. I'm not a superhero, but I went through some crap over there.
And you know, you spend a lot of time minimizing, and it's not coming at you, but you've been there and you've done stuff that the men and women of this country didn't have to go and be part of. I mean, the reality is you're taking on these gases so that others don't have to or never will have to experience that.
Yeah.
And people need to realize that.
Well, thank you, Mark. Yeah.
That they get to lay, here we go, I get to do it. They get to lay their big fat heads on the pillows of freedom every single day, not worrying who's kicking in their back door, because we have fine young men and women who sometimes make mistakes, but are signing up and putting their life in your harm's way. And I just don't. Where's the thanks? The thanks needs to come more than just a 10% discount at Lowe's. I mean, I'm sorry. It has to be more than that. It has to be more than we'll remember you on Memorial Day. It has to be more than that.
Right.
You have to be. What are you grateful for? In that you can walk and open your door and walk in and out of your door of your house in your space, and no one tells you what to do in that space. How grateful are you? If someone came and took it away from you today, whose fault would it be? It ain't the men and women who served. It ain't their fault. Oh.
Yeah, man. You know, it's just it's the way it is. It's destiny, man. That's the way I look at it. Like, it's just what we were all meant to do, something, and we stood up for what we believed in, and we all joined voluntarily and went in, and circumstances led us to that point in life, that point in location. Yeah. And we did what we had to do, and very fortunate to make it home. I didn't think I didn't even realize how bad I was off I was. But it was pretty bad. But I made it home, and like I told her before, I said, you know, military is not going to be the defining thing that made me as a person, but it did help shape me into who I am. Does that make sense?
It absolutely does. Gabriel Wren, who's part of Trinity Productions, who's a film guy out of Nashville, he wants to know where you're from, David.
Oklahoma City right now. That's where I live. And but anyway, you know, we you know, just keep going. I've always had like this thing about public service. I don't know what it was. I told you it started with 1 Adam 12, right? 1 Adam 12. My favorite show of all time when I was a kid, man. I just loved it. And any kind of cop show, it didn't matter, you know, but it's just destiny. I think God puts us all here for a reason. We all know what we want to do in life. You just got to do it. You can't sit on the couch and expect it to come to you. You know, you just got to do it. If you want to be a soldier, go join the Army. Go in and serve. Do it. Don't wait. Go do it. You want to be a cop? Go to college. Go get you a degree and become a cop. It's not hard. If I can do it, anybody can do it. I'm just saying. Fun job too, by the way. It's not as fun anymore, but it was one of the best points of my life. But you know, we all keep moving. Music, I don't even know how I would get along without music. Music saved me many times. You know, being able to pick up a guitar and play music and sing to yourself, it's wonderful. You know, but write songs, I can't ask for a better life. I'm very grateful. I do have a little bit of post-traumatic stress. I have a lot of post-traumatic stress, but I deal with it, man. It's just the way it is. You know, those memories, we're never going to get rid of the memories, right? Like the smoking bodies and the burn-up bodies all over the place, as they call crispy critters, laying all over the desert, stinking to high heaven. You're never going to forget that, those images. To me at the time, it was like real traumatizing. To me, I was so tired. It was just, okay, well, mission accomplished. We're going to keep moving. We don't have to worry about them shooting at us anymore, you know? So just keep moving. And I don't know. I don't know where I'm going with this, but you can jump in anytime, man.
You're good, brother.
I have a question.
Sometimes
I don't know. I can ramble. I'm a rambler, man. You heard rambling, man. That's me.
You mentioned at the beginning it was and I'm sorry, I've been kind of out all week dealing with other things, but you mentioned at the beginning that it was ground zero, the beginning of the war.
Yeah.
It was said January, February. I'm assuming you were talking about war in Iraq.
Yeah. Desert Storm. So it went from Desert Shield to Desert Storm, I believe, at that point. I don't know. I was out in the desert. I don't know exactly I didn't even know where I was at until after I come home, because we were moving all the time. But yeah, that was Desert Storm. And we were right on where the berms were for Iraq and Saudi Arabia. They had these berms, and they were man-made berms, and they were supposed to keep the United States military out of their country from coming in. And so what we did for days is we blew hose. They did point fire missions straight into the berms with the howitzers. And they were just, those 155s were blowing hose in there so that we could drive through them. And eventually we got through there, and just right on the other side was the enemy, just right on the other side of that berm. And they were all dead.
And you could have walked up that berm.
You could have probably. But, of course, we had those minefields in the vicinity, too. So I don't know. We got misled into a minefield, which was the biggest thing for me that scared me half to death, because I was just a commo guy, and I was running wire to different points on that field. I'm lucky I didn't get blown up. And when I came back to my Humvee to get some more stuff or something, there's like, Chamberlain, don't go out there again, because we're in a minefield, and it was an eye-opening experience, to say the least. I was very lucky. Somebody was watching over me. So, yeah.
Similar experiences in a different war, man. Very similar.
Really? Well, thank you for your service too, brother. You probably have way more stories than I got, and I mean, it's amazing how one experience can relate to another, but they're never going to be exactly the same, and it's, so I don't sit there and cry about an experience that I had or whatever. I just thank God that I made it through, and I thank him for the experience, and hopefully it was enough to build good character inside myself to be able to love people more and appreciate the smaller things, or the finer things in life, like water and electricity, right? I remember when I came back, a hot bath. Wow, this is awesome. Check out a canteen
from a water buffalo.
Yeah, man, we didn't even have that. We had canteens, and honestly, we didn't take bath for over a month, maybe even is nasty. We could smell ourselves pretty well, because we had our chemical suits on too. That played a factor in that, not being able to take a bath, because we had chemical suits on the whole time. We're mop level 2 with just the top and the bottom on, and no mask
on the side.
Yeah, I can't remember, but yeah, I got to know that chemical suit very well.
But pretty miserable in 120-degree heat.
Oh yeah, no doubt. Another thing that comes to mind, if you want to hear it, I don't know. I mean, we're just talking, right? So when we landed in Saudi Arabia at King Fahd Air Force Base, first time I ever got to see a stealth fighter. That was pretty cool. But so we landed, and as soon as we landed, the sirens went off. We had a Scud missile attack. I mean, right after I got there. And so they pull us off the plane, put us down in the tarmac in mop level 4, and keep us there. And we just got into country, so we hadn't had any time to. I come from Fort Lewis, right? There's big difference. And I swear to God, I thought I was going to die out there. In 120 something degrees, probably hotter than that, because we're on a tarmac. And they kept us out there for hours until they got cleared. At Kovar Towers, we stayed there as an out processing station. We had more Scud missile attacks there than, I could even count. And I was just there for like 3 days, but every day these things were coming in. They'd sound the sirens and announce over the intercom, Scud alert. And we have to get MOP level 4. But let me tell you something. I think it was after I left, or maybe it was after the war. You can Google this. Kovar Towers got hit with a Scud missile, and it killed a bunch of our soldiers. Y'all remember that, or do you know anything about that? That same place I was staying, it got hit. So, like I said, I was very fortunate. You can't minimize what could happen at any time during war. You might think you're safe, but reality of it is when you got bombs going off over you, nobody's safe. Yeah. So.
Yeah. And there's a whole line of conversation we get into there.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, man. And that's just my experience. But how about you tell us about your experience? You said you had a similar experience.
Similar in the fact that, we had the berms, but I was on the Kuwait side of things, but we had to bulldoze through the berms to cross on the day of. And there was people right on the other side, just like you said.
Yeah, man, they were there.
The bulldozers went through, and the tanks went through, and pandemonium ensued.
Yeah, and they're the crispy critters, all those guys. I hate saying that, but I think the guilty feeling for me is, we call them crispy critters, and we sort of made fun of them and stuff, but they have wives and daughters and families just like we do. And it makes you wonder, why is war so necessary all the time? It's sometimes it is necessary to have war, but it's us that's fighting the war. It's us. We're fighting the war, not the politicians and all those other guys. I don't want to sound cliche or stupid or anything, but I mean, it doesn't seem right. You're out there killing somebody you don't even know, and they want to kill you, and it's mind blowing if you sit and think about it for a while. It's like, why does it have to come down to this? Well, it just does. We're a violent race of people. The world is,
Another, like you talk about war nowadays, killing people you don't know or going to war against people you don't know, whatever the case. And I always go back to, in the early times of war when America was becoming a country, and even during the Civil War and things like that. There were literal families fighting on opposite sides of that. And killing each other you know what I mean? Like we have gone through some really, really, really crazy times. And Mark says it a lot of times, and I really think that it bears true, and it's important to remember is that we are where we are in history as a country. And we've gotten here in a relatively short amount of time. Mm-hmm. Considering how long the rest of the world has been doing this before us, and I think we're going to go through some growing pains. And it is what it is. But I think we've been through some very terrible times in this country. So we'll find a way to push through and see the better side of it again.
Right. I think that, when you're talking about growing pains, I think that we've been torn down. We've been torn down. Everything that we had built up all this time has been torn down over the last 3 years. And it started before that, but it's been torn down by letting illegal immigrants into our country just walk into our country. And I'm telling you, I promise you, and it's not because I know, I just know in my heart, something bad is going to happen out of that. And it's nobody else's fault, but you know who. I'm not going to go there with politics, but it could be stopped at any time. And why are they doing that? Why are they doing that to our country? Why? Because they want to save a whole bunch. They want to save a whole bunch of people. They want to save a whole bunch of people from their government. When we got people here, we got veterans that are starving out on the street. They can't even get a meal, but yet they're letting these people get in. They're giving them a bunch of cash. They're giving them phones. They're giving them shelter, food, shelter. They're more worried about them than our own people that were born here, that had the legal right to have, have that aid, but they're giving it to other people for it. Yeah, I even heard that the VA now is treating illegal immigrants. Our money that we, it's supposed to go toward us veterans is now going toward illegal immigrants. But that's just one example. The other example is the political embarrassment that we've been going through for the last couple of years. We got just total incompetency, and I hate that because I've always been a patriot. I love my country. I love it. I never talk bad about a president. I have respect for the presidency. But at some point, we got to get somebody that's going to lead us to greatness and not the other opposite direction, because we're going backwards. We're not going forwards. We're going backwards. We've been set back, probably 10, 20 years. I don't know. I couldn't estimate a good number, but we've been set back quite a way. It's going to take a while to get over this. But yeah, growth pains, they're coming. And I'm worried that they've let terrorists in to our country. And I'm worried about that too. But we'll see. We might end up getting away with it. I don't know, but we'll see.
Well, there's definitely a possibility of that, and I hope and pray that you're wrong and that our children don't have to live with our sins.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
We just have to be diligent in educating ourselves, and that's the problem that they're not even allowing us as educators to do our jobs in that manner either anymore. And it just, how do we fix the problem? How do you fix that? If we create and segregate in the fact that, okay, you have this political ideology, you have this political ideology, well, then you're creating the problem all over again. And it's those who have and those who don't have, and it's those that get funded and those that don't get funded. And it is just it's this vicious circle that we've created for ourselves.
Right.
Again, we talk about the growth. Let's focus on the growth. Let's focus on the positives. Let's do what's best for everyone, not just minority groups, whatever minority group that is.
Right.
Everyone should be taking on part of the load. Back to your song, freedom don't come free. Your livelihood, what you have, it doesn't come free. You don't buy a car and don't maintain it. You buy a car and you invest in the maintenance to keep that car running as long as possible. If you don't, and there are people that do this, if you don't maintain that vehicle correctly, then it breaks down and it doesn't work for you any longer.
Right.
Some people have got the resources to move on. A lot of us don't have the resources to move on. So we have to take care of the stuff that we invest in ourselves. And so, David, what are you working on right now in your personal life? What are you getting done? Are you pushing your music career forward? Are you?
Yeah, man, I'm just getting back into it because I got real sick. Well, I think last interview I was about to have surgery or had surgery. I had a real bad stomach issue that I had to get taken care of. So it's taken me a couple of years to get back on track. I'm just booking shows here and there, just doing special events. I've been working with some other organizations and stuff, and just doing local shows. That's about it. Just taking whatever I can get.
Are there any organizations you want to give a shout out to?
Well, you mentioned Brian, Brian Paul, right? Yeah. He's a good friend of mine. You give a shout out to him and his organization. It's Veterans for Life, I believe. is the name of his organization. Give a shout out to them. He's doing a real good job with them. He helps veterans with post-traumatic stress. He's got a few calls for me, that's for sure. He's always there for me whenever I need him. So.
Love Brian Paul. Love Derek Iozio down there and Catch 22 as well. Have a great week, Mr. Iozio.
Yeah.
It took me about 6 weeks of training to be able to say his name correctly. So that's
or 6 months or something like that. Yeah, it was a while.
What song you want to roll with now, brother?
Oh, what do you got? What do you got queued up?
I've got it all. You tell me.
Name a few off. Let's see what we got.
Walk On CC.
Didn't we? Yeah, let's do that.
Did you get?
All right.
Yeah. Yeah, the song I wrote. I got a call from a doctor, a veterinarian in Mustang, Oklahoma. Name's Terry Wood, Dr. Terry Wood, the nicest guy in the world. And he called me and he said, David, you're a songwriter, and I got this poem, and I need it to, be turned into a song. Well, it wasn't much of a song, but I took different parts of his poem and then added stuff here and there, and I came up with a song. And then I came in contact with Dean Miller, Roger Miller's son, in Nashville, and he said send it to him. And next thing you know, we got this wonderful song. So I was very fortunate to be a part of that deal, being a songwriter on this song. But so the whole story is about therapeutic writing, and there's a horse named CC, and he's the horse that he was. Let me back up. This horse was about to be put down, and so they didn't have any other uses for him, so they just brought him out and put him in this arena with these kids, and he was so good with the kids, they made him, a therapeutic riding horse, and he helped out a lot of kids. And you'll see in this video, there's a child, God bless her soul, she passed away, but she's on the horse and she's got her hands up in the air, and I'm walking next to her, and she passed away like that next year. But they were seeing a lot of improvement from her using that therapeutic riding, that riding therapy, from riding a horse and feeling that energy coming off that horse really helped her quite a bit. But yeah, that's what the song is about. It's called Walk On CC, and that's the command, walk on. Whenever they want him to start walking and doing his job, you say, walk on, CC.
This is David Chamberlain with Walk
Cool
On
horse.
Tired to compete on the rodeo grounds, broken down and stifled, sore hips coming down, Grim Reapers coming quickly if a job's not soon found. What's a horse to do? He's all broken down. Walk on, be strong for the kids, and walk on. Teach them how to ride, give them the strength to hold on. Walk on, CC, walk on. There's kids that are hurting in a battle of all their own. They have a hard time adjusting. It's no fault of their own. They need to learn, they need to grow. It's a match that's heaven made. So what if they're not perfect? God made them that way. Walk on, be strong for the kids, and walk on. You teach them how to ride, you teach them how to thrive. You give them the strength to hold on. walk on. There's a healing coming, there's a new friend by your side, so climb up on his back and ride and ride and ride. Walk on, be strong for the kids and walk on. You teach them how to ride, you teach them how to thrive, you give them the strength to hold on. Walk on, see, walk on. Walk on, see, walk on. Walk on.
That is David Chamberlain and Walk on CC. I love your narrative. I love how you set these songs up. I love the passion of your story and what you've been through and in life. And here you're giving the story. And again, you highlight A, this horse, and B, this young girl that's in there. And you've been through a lot, brother. And you're willing to tell the story of others. And that shows the kind of character of a human that you are, and I appreciate you.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate that. Appreciate it.
Oh.
Yeah, that's hard for me to watch that. That little girl was sweet, and she was doing so good. But therapeutic riding is the way to go with these kids that have these disabilities. It just does so much for them. I used to go out there all the time and watch them and see how they interact with that horse and how he would just change them instantly. It was amazing. You put them on the back of the horse and they just change into a totally different person. Independent. It gives them independence and confidence and self-esteem. It's great. But thank you, Mark. I appreciate it. Yeah.
The other side of that is how amazing these animals are and how they if you've never seen it before, you get there and these animals embed themselves. I mean, they from Cody, Wyoming, grew up around livestock and animals, worked in the rodeo, did all that stuff. You know, they always told you, don't be afraid. The animal can sense it. And that's almost one of the best pieces to it is because, yes, you got animals that are going to exploit that, but these animals that are looking for they want the touch just as much as the human wants the touch, is what it is. Yeah. And,
you got to remember, CC was on his way to the glue factory, and those kids saved him too. So it's a
absolutely
two-way deal. It's a reciprocal relationship there. I believe I could put it that way. That's pretty cool.
It's a great way to look at it.
Yeah.
So what's next for David Chamberlain?
I don't know, man. Just sort of living day to day. I'm raising my two little girls, and I get them every other weekend. We get to go hang out, and we watch a lot of movies and go play. I like taking them camping and stuff in the summertime, go fishing and do stuff like that. Sort of take it easy. But music's the only thing I got going. I do sell real estate too, but music is the main thing that I'm into right now. So it's just going out and playing shows, being heard and seen, and having fun. It's just no better feeling than jumping on stage and singing in front of a whole bunch of people and them actually enjoying it, getting out on the dance floor and they're dancing to your music, and that's pretty cool. Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, that's what's up for me. I'm just living day by day, man.
What's something you want to get done here in the near future?
I don't know. I mean, what else is there to do? I'm serious. I think I've done it all. Like everything on my list, I wanted to do. I don't see a whole bunch. And I'd like to, seriously, I'd like to probably get in the studio and make another record eventually before I get too old. I want to get back in there and make one more good record and just put a punctuation mark on what I've done for the last 30-something years. I know I got one in there that could do pretty well probably, but you just got to get in the studio and do it and see what happens. Because that's where the magic takes place. When you get in the studio, you can write the easiest. You could write a song you wouldn't even think that it would be anything. But once you get in there and those studio musicians get a hold of it, that's where the magic happens. And you just never know when the magic is going to happen for you again. You know, is lightning going to strike twice? I don't know, but I'd like to get in the studio and do that, do another song, a couple, 2 or 3 maybe. And yeah, need to write them first, but I've got tons of songs I've written, but you know, most songwriters throw away more than they keep. Like me, I've thrown away a bunch of songs, and only a few make it to the cut. That's about it, Mark.
Well, that ain't about it. There's a lot to get done here. We got stuff to do.
I love recording, man. You get in the studio though, it's just like magic. I can't even explain it. It's like you can't even believe that's you it's so surreal. You put the headphones on, and you got the band there, and you got the people pointing at you, and they're, you know, and it's like something out of a dream. You know, that is my favorite part of music is recording. I love it, and a lot of times I only record like 1 or 2 takes. That's it. I don't stay there all day.
Where do you normally do your recording?
Well, I've done it many places. I started off in Oklahoma. My first recording was Amethyst Records when I came back from Desert Storm, and I decided I want to do this. I saved up some money, and I think my grandma gave me some money. And I went to a local studio, Amethyst Recording Studio, used the Oklahoma Opry recording session guys, and I made a full album. It wasn't an album; it was tape, you know, good old cassette tape, right? And so I did, I think 10 songs on that, and a bunch of them were covers we just threw in at the last minute. And I just did like Achy Breaky Heart, you know, it's just the first record. And I went out on the road, man. I started selling these records, and one thing led to another. And later on, I recorded in Texas, and I recorded in Nashville, and then I recorded in Nashville again, Franklin, Tennessee, and then also right outside of Nashville. I can't remember the other town. It's a pretty popular town. I can't think of the name of it right now, but I've been down there to record a few times. But I think when we recorded in Texas, I used Leanne Rhymes, producer, on one of my deals. And I was with I signed a record contract with a small label in Texas called Two Hearts Records. It was a husband and a wife. They came and scouted me. I had 3 record labels that wanted to sign me at the same time, and I made a mistake. But anyway, I recorded down in Texas for that one. I should have went with the other ones. They were well better equipped and had more money. But yeah, I recorded down in Texas, and I think those Texas musicians got a special thing to them too. Mm-hmm. You know, Nashville and Texas and Oklahoma, we all have our own little style. But out of all of them, probably Nashville is the best way to go. These guys know their stuff. You step in the studio with them, and it's just it's like butter. Y'all say like butter?
We're going to talk a little bit after post-show here. We might have I have a persona of someone that I think would work well with. I just think we'll see. We'll figure it out.
We can talk about that for
cool,
sure.
Man.
For sure.
All right, cool.
There's a lot of this happened since the last time we spoke, David, and
okay,
things that we shouldn't get to do and have got to done, and
we got to done it.
We get to spread the love because of the people in our of the network. So we'll get that.
All right. Sound like a plan.
We looked today, and we have, how many did I say? Did I say 13 of your songs that we play on our radio?
Oh, really? Okay.
So we have a station called WeP3 Radio, and it's on Live 65. It's Michael Madsen was in here earlier. It's with Foxhole Internet Radio, and he's going to be working like mad. We just had a meeting the other day. We'll be working like mad to make sure all 13 are on there, and anything new that you've got, we can put in there.
Okay.
Anyone who's watching, we have some musicians watching as well. If you've got new stuff, send it to Jonathan. I'm going to say to Jonathan, we have a plan, or just send him a note, and he'll get you set up on the way to get those in the folders for us, and we'll
add
those
I'm
to our
gonna put
radio
my
station.
email in here.
Here you go. He's going to give you his email. Yes, send him a holler, and we're going to get this rolling. It's going to be the biggest and only at this moment all veteran and first responder musician radio station. So
sounds exciting.
It's
pretty
kind
cool.
of exciting. So yeah,
a lot of talent out there, y'all.
there's
a lot.
If
They're out there saving your life every day, and there's another star right around the corner from you. You don't even know it.
Absolutely.
If we had a dime for every person we bring to our show that people say, why aren't they bigger? Why aren't they doing bigger shows? Why? We wouldn't be worried about doing any of this. I mean, we'd still do this, but we'd be able to fund our whole thing that we're trying to get done. And it's so exciting, and we have been so blessed. And there is such amazing talent out there. Scotty Fraser's been on here tonight. Shannon Book was on here. Scotty Hastings was on here tonight. You should check out his new stuff. Amazing. And so, again, I'll get you that information, David, for those guys. But all musicians that are getting it done, who should be on a regular turn, to be honest with you, because we've had no one complain about the music that we put on our show. And we only get to do it. We only get to do it because of these amazing artists that come, and the hard work that we put forward and making sure we go get and find this amazing talent. And I've had so many awesome conversations with David behind the scenes. We'd like to do more. We'd like to get you out there playing more. But we'll keep rolling. We'll keep doing what we do, and we'll make it all work.
We'll make it happen.
You're gonna do this.
Anytime you'll need me, I'll be there for you.
Let's not lie. He just invited us down to an event in April. I hope we're able to make that work. And he's going to play an event down there. Hey, Scotty, can we bring David with us? Let's ask that question. Let's put that in. Want to go play in Texas? Just make stuff happen. That's what you do.
All right.
Scotty will get back to us. He'll let us know. He said yes. So
there we go.
Maybe we start that conversation and get people taken care of. And last time we were with Scotty was last November, early November.
Right.
Veterans Day.
And what?
Veterans Day.
Yep.
What?
And got to hang out with John Swats. Got to hang out with BJ Leggett. Got to hang out with. The names just keep going and going and going. And I know I'm leaving out a musician, and I'm sure Scotty will remind me here real quick. This guy is the
John Swat.
What you ever tried to say there. I know you tried to say limit, but I won't make fun of you because you're a Marine, Scotty.
It just got a space in the wrong place.
Yeah. Aaron Curtis Owen. Yes. I knew I was missing that one. So great people, great mission, great things happening down there. Sky's the limit. The Marine turns it around and wrote it all right. So
for some of you that are watching and listening, I just got to throw this out there. I think I have this naughty puppy. He joins me sometimes. Oh my gosh, Scotty, this is for he wants to join the Marines. He showed me today. My Deuce, my dog.
He wants to join the Marines.
Yeah. He's eating some crayons this
Yeah, because he
afternoon.
was eating some crayons.
Semper Fi.
He's halfway there.
He's a tough
One
badass
needs the
dog.
uniform at this point.
Oh, I think Scotty was choking on a crayon while he was writing. So
That's fine.
what a blessing. What a blessing. I think because this is our show, we get to do what we want to, when we want to, how we want to. I think we're going to save Don't Let the Old Man In for post show.
Yeah.
So it can just be us. And
Yeah, that's cool.
Oh, yeah.
We can do that.
And we'd like to maybe so much stuff. We'll work on it. We'll work on it.
Yeah.
So the last song we have set up for you, brother, is, and I'm
Oklahoma Sooner.
Oklahoma Sooner. Yeah, it's a good song. It's about a musician that goes to Nashville, and while he's in Nashville, his wife leaves him, and he says, I should have been in Oklahoma sooner.
Mm.
It goes over really well in Norman. I play in Norman a lot. I play at Toby Keith's place. In fact, I'll be playing there, I think it's the month after next. But they love it up there. Oklahoma Sooner. Anything with Sooner in it goes over well in Norman, Oklahoma.
I was going to ask if that was popular.
Yeah.
play on words.
We'll be on the big stage out there. So
everything except college football.
Okay,
what
mister.
do you say?
He's a little purple and yellow guy down here in the corner.
I said everything except college football.
Hey, it's not your fault. It's okay. It's all good, man.
Oh, that's funny.
Hopefully they'll be better this year. They'll do better. Hopefully. OU. I'm a big OU fan. Are you guys not OU fans?
We don't care. No.
I love my Sooners. Boomer.
We got the vicious fighting Gophers up here that, destroy the Huskers and beat the Huskers. And did I mention that they beat the Huskers? I don't know. That's
boy.
There was one time this year.
It's all good.
David Chamberlain with Oklahoma Sooner.
I just had to go to Nashville. Wanted the world to hear my songs. She said I'll be waiting with my radio on. I said I'll come back for you when I finally had it made. When I got back to Tulsa, it was a little too late. Should have been in Oklahoma sooner. I guess I stayed away too long. If I'd have known that I would lose her, I'd been in Oklahoma sooner. I was feeling kind of lonely, so I grabbed my old guitar and I wrote this song for you. Wherever you are, and when the DJ plays it, I hope you're listening. Just wanted you to know that I should have been in Oklahoma sooner. I guess I stayed away too long. If I'd have known that I would lose her, I'd been in Oklahoma sooner. If I'd have known that I would lose her, I'd been in Oklahoma sooner.
The boomer. That sounds where you'll say sooner, right? I can't hear you guys. There you are.
That is David Chamberlain in Oklahoma Sooner.
Yeah, thank you.
So that first song that we played tonight, was it Freedom Don't Come Free?
Yeah.
I'm sitting here like singing, and it's like I almost know all the words, and I'm like, man, this is a really good song. Like, it's almost like I heard it before.
Well,
And
thank you, man.
Then I realized that it was on WeP3 Radio, and I had heard it before. But
that's crazy, man. I didn't know you guys were spinning it that much. I thought you'd only probably played it once or twice. But thank y'all for your support.
Great. All of the songs were great, man.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I think I got some better ones in me. It's going to take time to get there. We'll find them, dig them out somewhere, and get them out there to y'all.
Oh, if it's better than that, I can't wait.
Thank you.
Great.
So, yeah. So, I mean, I really would like to sing live for y'all today. And I probably, you said post-show, probably will, but I want to do that. Don't let the old man in, but
you want to do it right now?
I'm a little rough. My voice is a little bit jacked up from being sick. Huh?
If you want to roll, let's roll.
I just stuck my foot in my mouth, didn't I? Don't let the old man in. I want to leave this alone. Can't leave it up to him. He's knocking on my door. I've known all my life that someday it would end. Get up and go outside. Don't let the old man in. Yeah, many moons I've lived. My body's weathered and worn. Just ask yourself how old you'd be if you didn't know the day you were born. Try to love on your wife. Staying close to your friends. Toast each sundown with mine. Don't let the old man in. Mm-hmm. 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 Yeah, many moons I've lived. My body's weathered and more. Just ask yourself how old you'd be if you didn't know the day you were born. When he rides up on his horse, you feel that cold bitter wind. Look out your window and smile. Don't let the old man in. Yeah, look out your window and smile. Rest in peace, Toby. Don't let the old man in. There you go. Rest in peace, Toby.
Yeah.
That in a dark day is a reminder of all things good. Thank you, David.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Hope I did it justice.
If that's you, Ruff, I wish I had a rough voice as well.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much.
Well, we're there. We're at that space. We're at that time. We do need to do our call to action. I think Jonathan was giving me a hint right there, but
Don't forget.
my brain is a little muddled right now, and that's all good. All of us have a device on us, and some people come on the show and we get people that want to argue whether doing 22 push-ups a day saves lives or not. You know what? If that's what your heart says, do your push-ups.
Yeah.
If going on a ruck march is your thing, go do your ruck march. This is what this 100% will be effective. If you will reach out to 6 people in your contact list and just type a quick message, hey, I was just thinking about you. Send that to 6 people. I'd like you to be a little bit more analytical in the fact that I'd like you to reach out to the ones that you think need it. Sometimes that's a process. I always challenge you every week to do one that is the hard ask, the one that you don't want to do, the one that you had a broken conversation, broken relationship. You don't want. I challenge you. I challenge you to be that bigger person and say, hey, I was just thinking about you. And after that, sorry, not sorry. You know what? If it continues to foster a relationship, great. If it doesn't, you've done your deal. And bottom line is, at the end of the day, we are putting our actions where our mouth is, and we are reaching out to those. Yes, we focus on veterans and first responders, but we live in a space and time in our world now that I think that message is well received by anyone in your contact list. So take the challenge, take the steps, reach out to 6 people do it by a 6-pack. It literally takes less than a minute to do all. Cut and paste, 6 people, get it done. We got some events coming up.
We got some stuff coming up. We have. Well, Jonathan, do you want to go first real quick?
My bad. So on March 23rd here in where I'm from, we have an event called Shock and Awe Fest. It's really trying to put People's Patriot Project in front of people here in the area, and get boots on the ground here in the area that are willing to do the work. And it's been a success already, and the event hasn't even taken place. But we're going to have a cook-off. We're going to have a cornhole tournament. There's going to be some vendor booths set up. I think the school we're working with, Nichols State University, is setting up a ruck march that leads into the event. We're going to have some veteran musicians and possibly some first responder musicians. Still waiting to complete the booking on that, but there's going to be a shrimp boot decorating contest. If you know what that is, if you know, you know. It's one to know. But man, it's going to be a good time, and we're gonna hopefully, like I said, it's already been a success. It doesn't matter what happens at the event, but met a lot of great people, a lot of great contacts, and getting a lot of things done already. So if you're listening and you want to make it, you can make it. If you're in the local area, you want to sign up for a cook-off, want to set up as a vendor, anything like that, just give me a call or scan that code and reach out. We'll figure it out for sure. But it'd be nice to see some of y'all there. Mark and Andrea will be here, just so you know.
Yeah. Not from the hood, but we're going to be there. Not from the neighborhood. That's funny. That's funny, right? It's going to be so much fun. I see some ticket things coming through. So that's some vendors have come in, and some tickets and some volunteers. So that's awesome. That's awesome. I'm excited. It's getting
Great
closer.
work.
Like butterfly in the tummy time is that's where we're at right now, which is awesome. I will let you know we have next week's guest coming. We have Amanda Helm. She's coming with Hooves, Hooves, which is healing of our veterans equine services. Say equine or equine?
Equine.
I'd say equine. And then we have Jeremiah Bones, who he was visiting us a couple weeks ago with a different name, but Jeremiah will be here, our new friend from the East, to share his music, which I think us sharing his music that one time inspired him to get moving and get stuff produced and get rolling with it. He's pretty excited. He's full of energy. Yeah, he's got a thing. He'll be fun. It'll be very fun. That's pretty much what I got. Tomorrow, we'll be here tomorrow, 4:30 Central Time, 16:30 TU military time, folks. I don't think I'll be here, but we'll see. You never know what happens when you're waiting for a doctor to show up.
Unbelievable.
We'll see.
Unbelievable.
I know, right? My attendance has not been very shiny lately.
Jonathan, what do you got for closing statements?
Earlier in the show, David said something that sometimes would describe me, and it's when I try to say things, it just comes out in these random thoughts. In my head, I know what I'm saying, but you may not.
Yeah.
So just some things I wrote down about tonight's show is live life, love others, don't be afraid to get started. Thoughts, hopes, planning, they all have their place, but only action will yield progress. Get up, get moving, and don't let the old man in.
Oh, yeah. Love it.
David, anything in closing?
No, man, thank y'all for having me today. I had a really great time visiting with y'all and sharing, getting a lot of stuff off my chest. I feel like I've been in just a lot of, it was a lot of fun, man. Thank you very much for having me. So,
Miss Eichmann.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, thank you for coming on, because I thought it was a very cool conversation.
Thank you.
Yeah, this guy knows a lot of stuff. And so from technology to, we might have talked a little bit of politics as well, a little bit here and a little bit there. And then sharing his service with me and things he's done and places he's been. So thank you for that conversation.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And then I just want to thank our guest again. I put that little thank you up earlier. All of those of you who stop in and take a look every week. And I think we had some new ones again this week. And those who share and those who support, thank you. Thank you very much. We have so many cool groups we work with, and it's just getting better and better all the time. So thanks to all of you people who, there's not a lot of them left, I bet, at this point, but hopefully they'll watch the end at some point.
Cool.
David, if you have time, hang around a little bit for some post-show stuff,
yeah.
And
sure.
You will be here just on the quick whip. Check you out tomorrow at 4:30 at the WeP3 Weekly Debrief. Thank you for being here tonight. Thank you for all those who participated. We greatly appreciate you, and we're excited to continue this mission, even when we get a little bit on the funky side of stuff. We'll get it all figured out. Thanks for being here, folks. Patriot Pride.